Hello, yogis. Welcome to this virtual space. I'm hoping you'll take a few moments to do a practice with me. So if you'd like to join, find a comfortable seat, set up a mat, a blanket, any props that you might like. It'll be a short practice. I wanted to just review some basic movements in case you're not doing a regular practice. This is just something to move all the joints and to tap into your heart space. Notice how you are feeling. Really important to be in touch with how we're feeling day to day in this unusual part of history that we are living through. So as you sit, notice if you can find a tall spine. Reviewing just a couple of principles for that tall spine, for the soft torso to receive the breath. We have a bone at the throat area called the hyoid bone, Hyoid. It's kind of stirrup shaped, and it sits in front of the cervical vertebrae and behind the jawbone. So if you can envision that bone like a C shape, think of the tips of that C, they face backwards. Think of them lifting up and back to kind of pull the front of the torso up. So you might have felt that. It's subtle. It's a way to kind of tone the abdomen. It's a way to lengthen the front body but still keep the sternum soft. So see if you can soften. You might place a hand at the heart. Beautiful. If that worked for you, make sure you release the jaw. The jaw should slacken when you do that. Soften the space between the eyes. And let's bring our hands to the rib cage. So the outer ribs. If it's more comfortable, you might cross at the forearms to feel the outer ribs. And see if you can bring breath to your lower ribs without straining. Soft breath in through the nose. Out through the nose. So as we fill the bottom part of the lungs, we allow the nervous system to settle, and we allow at the same time energy to enter the body. The inhale and exhale balance out the body. And you might start to feel your breath at the lower back ribs. You might bring hands just around the armpits. See if you can feel the breath up into the back part of the armpits. Just underneath the armpits, the heart rising. And as you continue with this, bring the fingertips to the collarbones. Imagine the collarbones like a big pencil. Like roll the pencil up so that again, the torso lengthens. At the same time, the hyoid bone lifts back. You lift the collarbone. See if that might create more space in the front of the body. And then root down through the sitting bones. The sacrum, you want the top of the sacrum to slightly tip forward toward the belly button. And then the pelvic floor, you want it square on the earth so that the pubic bone and tailbone are kind of reaching towards each other. It lifts up the pelvic floor. As you breathe in and out, with the exhale, and see if you can get a sense of the hip points moving towards each other, a subtle tone toward the center of the abdomen. So just doing these subtle movements at the beginning of your day might set your posture up. You might, as you do this, set an intention for your day. How do you wish to live this day? What is it that your heart calls for? Is there an activity that will create loving space and loving awareness inside your heart? Is there just something essential that you need to do? Might you do it with an awareness of how you hold your body, how you breathe the breath? And with that, let's bring hands to the thighs, palm up, little pressing to the back of the hands. See if you could again feel the hyoid bone lifting. Sternum soft as the collarbones turn up and broaden. Sitting bones reach down toward the earth. Pubic bone down toward the sitting bone. Soften here the control of the breath. See if you can envision the body expanding to draw the breath in, contracting to exhale the breath. With your mind's eye, feel the breath in the body. You might bring the gaze down, you might close the eyes. And let's grow to Dirga breath here to expand through the belly, the outer ribs, the under the armpits, up through the collarbones. Long, sweet exhale. Take your time with the exhale. You might hold empty for a moment. Breathe in, and in. Relaxing through the shoulders. Shoulders are broad, the lower points moving towards each other. Long, sweet exhalation. One more time, just like that. Breathing in to expand inwardly. Get a sense of that broadness of the body, the muscles expanding, the bones lifting, the connective tissue expanding. And stay tall through the exhale to feel all that the body can do. Beautiful. Let's start to add some movement here. Inhale the arms slowly up toward the sky. Fingertips might touch. Exhale, release down. Turn the palms down. Fingertips touch the earth. Inhale, palms turn up, reaching up toward the sky. Exhale, palms turn down. Fingertips touch and root into the earth. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling, releasing. Fingertips toward the earth. This come to a spinal flexion, so you might switch the cross of the legs if your legs are crossed. Holding on to the knees gently. Start to lift the heart. Keep the hyoid bone back. And then as you exhale, draw belly button toward the spine. See if you can notice the rounding in the middle and upper back. Inhale, find a length, a lift through the front body. And then exhale, softly round. Do that a couple more times, just starting to flex the spine every day. Important to do forward bending, back bending, healthy for the spine. Keep the connective tissue at the vertebrae hydrated. Come up to center. We'll move toward a twist. So the hips are stable. You might bring your hands to your hips. Take a breath in. Find that superhero posture. And as you exhale from the rib cage rotating toward your left, find right hand toward the left knee and back arm reaching behind you. Lean back a little on that arm. See if you can open the heart a little bit more. Hyoid bone reaches back, breathing in. And as you exhale, maybe that back hand comes closer toward the torso. Maybe you find a deeper twist. Bring awareness to the skull. So the skull aligned with the spine. Start to just gently rotate the gaze from one side to the other. Let the eyes lead so you get a full range of motion with the eyes. And next time you're looking over your back shoulder, find perhaps a deeper twist. Soften through the jaw, soften through the mind, right? So it can let go of trying to be anything. Feel into the body, that rotation of the rib cage, strengthening, toning through the spine. Inhale, come back slowly to center. Pause just to feel one side to the other. Breath in brings you taller. Exhale brings you over to the other side from the rib cage rotating. So just gently plant the hand wherever it goes. If you have to kind of grip the knee, then maybe you don't need to hold the knee. Just let the hand settle where it will. Lean back on that back hand. Open the heart. Settle the sitting bones. And breathe in, nice tall lifted spine. Start to walk that hand behind you in closer toward the spine. See if on an exhale you find a deeper twist. You don't have to, just explore. So that rotation of the spine, again, important to do every day. Full range of motion. And your range of motion will change throughout the day. Let's come back to center. You might again switch the cross of the legs if they're crossed. We'll do a lateral stretch next. So starting to plant left hand to the floor, reach right arm up. And then from the length of the sitting bone reaching down, start to stretch through your pinky finger and that top arm. Soften through the jaw and the eyes. Turn the gaze down to feel what that does in your body. And as you inhale, bring awareness to the rib cage. Let the inhale rotate just the rib cage slightly up. Still rooting through the sitting bones, taking the stretch that's appropriate for you. If you want more, you might bend that lower elbow if that works in your body today, just giving you that option. Breathing to feel. Let the body settle into the stretch, not forcing anything. And then reach, drawing this beautiful rainbow over your head as you start to switch it to the other side. Settle the sitting bones, feel the breath. Notice what you feel. Slowly turn the gaze down that top shoulder or surround down slightly. And on an inhale from the rib cage, rolling slightly up. Find just that subtle rotation that might open you up a little bit more. Option again to lower to elbow. Option to maybe use a book or a block if it's steady to bring that hand up to that if you need the floor actually closer to your body. We connect with the breath. The hyoid bone reaches up and back. Sternum is soft. And then as you're ready, just stretch and lift that arm up again, drawing that beautiful rainbow up overhead. Beautiful. Let's extend the legs out. Feel into the soles of the feet as if they're pushing a surface away. You might walk the sitting bones back and then press the heels out. Really open up the space between the toes. So you're lifted in Dandasana here. From Dandasana, I'll turn sideways. You're going to lean back on your hands. Gently press into your hands, elbows in toward the body. Lift the heart. So here you're in a back bend. Again, notice the chin. The chin might want to jut out, which means your hyoid bone is restricting here. It's pulling forward. Draw it back. And roll the collarbones up and back nice and broad. Toning gently through the abdomen, not rigid there, but soft and toned at the same time. Notice the pubic bone reaching away from the belly button, and that's going to support the back bend. And then the tailbone reaching toward the pubic bone keeps you from overdoing the back bend. Beautiful. Breath into the lower back ribs, under the armpits, and up and above the collarbones. Long exhale out. Start to draw yourself back up to vertical. Beautiful. Let's come back to a cross-legged position. I'm working the wrists a little bit today, so draw the arms out parallel to the floor and open the hands up, palms reach out, fingers wide, fingertips together, draw them down, little bird beak. So you're going to open and close, working the wrists. Really, again, healthy to do every day, full range of motion through the wrists. We're not aware what we do throughout the day, so taking the time in practice to use your full range of motion might extend your range of motion. It might give you information about the body that's new or something you already know. And then fingertips together, circles through the wrists, one direction, and then the other. Draw palms together at the heart space. Interlace fingers round the back as you reach the hands forward. Inhale, nice and tall, up toward the sky. And then just a little, again, side reach, stay rooted through both sitting bones. Inhale up to center, side reach to the other side. Back to center, draw the heart and the gaze up. Exhale, palms together down to the heart. Elbows come together. Interlace the fingers and just some circling again through the wrists. Yeah, see if you can relax the jaw, the gaze, the breath. We're rotating both ways. Beautiful. And again, draw the palms forward, circle around the spine. Inhale, nice full breath through the side body. Stretch one side, stretch the other. Come to center. Exhale, hands together down to the heart. Let's stretch out that arm. So one arm reaches across the body, other arm holds above the elbow. And start with the gaze forward. Adjust the hyoid bone. Lengthen through the front and back body. And then as you bring ease to the jaw, space between the eyes, you might rotate the gaze over whichever arm is stretched right now. Notice and feel, relax through any strain here, undo any excess stretching. Inhale to center, draw opposite arm across, holding on, usually just above the elbow, full palm. Lift through the spine, balance through the sitting bones. And as you relax the shoulders, the jaw, the gaze, start to explore rotating the neck. Bringing the gaze over that shoulder. Inhale back to center. Release the arms, roll the shoulders up and back. And then one more time, cross the fingers the opposite way. Reach the palms forward as you round the spine. Nice breath in, up to center. A little bit stretch to one side. Out toward the other. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath in. We'll twist toward one side. Nice and tall. Next inhale back to center. Exhale toward the other side. And back to center. One more time. Let's stretch the legs out. Point and flex the feet. And then curl the toes and spread them. Curl the toes and spread them. Again, super important, especially if we're in shoes. Summer is better, right? We tend to have more airing out of our feet. But see if you can really create a fuller range of motion here. Beautiful. Now we're going to massage our feet. So you can take one knee up. Draw it across the other. You might decide that the leg that's down toward the floor, you might keep it lengthened, or maybe it's more comfortable to fold it in. For me, fold it in works better. Spread your fingers. Make sure you don't have any rings that are going to hurt your toes. And just kind of thread the fingers inside the toes, between the toes. Hold on underneath your ankle. And squeeze the fingers together and spread them apart. Squeeze together, spread them apart. And then give the feet some movement, the toes some movement. So flex them, stretch them, and circle, anything that feels good. A little side to side. Your toes don't usually get that side to side stretch, so see what's available there. And then gently squeeze the fingers together to stretch the toes out as you ungrip the toes. We're going to put the palm on top of that foot and give it a stretch to the top of the ankle. Make sure that there's no pain there. Breathe, lift the sternum. Well, lift the hyoid to lift the sternum, but soften there as well. And then push that foot back, little flexion through the ankle. You might give a little squeeze around the Achilles area. Beautiful. And then set that foot aside. Let's switch out the legs. Adjust the sitting bones, stay tall here. Notice if you start to compress forward, so find a way to stay lifted. Fingers going to thread inside the space between the toes. Hold on under that ankle to support the weight of the leg. And then squeeze the fingers together, spread them apart. Squeeze, spread them apart. Make sure you're breathing. And then a little side to side stretch. That might feel a little unusual, right? And some movement forward and back. Some free movement. And again, squeeze the fingers together. Give the toes a little tug. Yeah, a little stretch there. Beautiful. Hand to top of the foot. Curl the toes. Stretch the top of that foot. Breathe. Stay steady. That hand underneath is doing a nice job of keeping the leg up, also helping to keep the spine tall. And then press the toes back, flexing that ankle. Again, you might want to give a little gentle squeeze around the Achilles, around the ankle, that lower calf muscle. Terrific. Letting that go. We're going to come to standing and give everything a little shake out, especially around this time that we're going through. We can hold in motion, we can hold gripping. Really great to do some dancing, do some jumping, some running. But for now, let's just shake out the wrists, shake out the hands, shake out the arms and the legs. Give the hips a little shake, a little shimmy. You might shake the head gently, whatever feels good. Shake out. You're in your own space. I can't see you. Do whatever feels good. You might add a little funky dance, right? Or do something. And notice how the energy changes in the body. Notice how you might feel as you bring your motion to stillness. Shoulders up and back. Hand to heart, hand to belly. Close eyes or gaze down. Feel the breath. Feel the energy you just brought into your body. Terrific. Let's from here do some more movement for the spine. So hands to the thighs, or just above the knees, and start to reach the tailbone back. Heart reaches forward. See here your hyoid bone. What happens when you draw it up? The chin will come a little closer toward the chest, so you're not hyperflexing at the neck. Exhale, draw the belly button in. Tailbone comes toward pubic bone. You start to round the spine. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round it out. And then just moving your pace, your breath. So again, we might be sitting more than we normally are, or maybe we're walking more. A lot of people are out walking, so you do need to stretch out the spine, either way. From here, next time your heart's reaching forward, tailbone back, you're going to find a bent knee forward, fold. Glide the hands toward the floor. Release the weight of the head so the forehead is free to come toward the shins. Doesn't have to get there, right? If it's safe for you to do so, rock slowly forward and back on your feet to find center. Use the strength of your hands, your fingertips, or maybe the hands on your legs to find a sense of bringing the legs toward vertical. They might be bent still, but get a sense of if they were vertical, where would you be? And then inhale, press into your legs, rise halfway up, reach the tailbone back, lift through the hyoid bone. So the front of the neck and the back of the neck are long. And breathe here, soft bend to the knees. You're going to open the arms out. And then just a gentle up and down, soften any tension. And then from here, you're going to bend the knees. We're going to come toward a chair pose. And we'll just move in and out of our chair pose, pressing into the feet, knees tracking forward, not coming too far forward of the toes. Kind of just waking up the quads. It's important to use your quads every day. Yeah, it's going to give you strength. It's going to help circulation. And we'll hold the next time you come down. See where you want to hold. the deeper your knees are bent, the more you work the quads. If you rise up a little more, you'll work more the glutes. So you decide what you want to work in the next 3 to 4 breaths. Soften again any place that doesn't need to hold. Space between toes, between fingers, space between the brows. And notice, is it an inhale or an exhale that starts to press the feet down? Arms are going to reach up overhead. Exhale, release one hand to the side of your leg, coming into a sweet side stretch for the body. Breathe. Again, turn the gaze down, that top shoulder round forward. And as you inhale from the rib cage, slightly rotating up, maybe the gaze will follow. And then draw that beautiful rainbow up overhead to come up to the other side. Breathing in, breathing out, finding that side stretch. Notice the neck, the jaw, the belly, the hips. Exhale, gaze down, softening in. Inhale, feel the ribs just slightly turning up. That allows the whole spine to start to rotate. The gaze might come up. Breathe awareness to your feet, so you're supporting your legs are strong here. You don't want to take this in the spine. And then draw that arch of a rainbow up overhead, releasing both arms down. Give the shoulders a little something, something. Give the wrist a little something. Let's march in place. Notice your balance here. So marching, again, you're walking a lot. The marching is going to help stretch out muscles that maybe you're not using in full range of motion. And the slower you go, the more you test your balance, strengthening through feet and ankles. And then move right into a tree pose from here. So next time your left foot is down, draw that right knee up. Open it out to the side. Choose where you want to be. Your foot might be toes on the floor, heel into the ankle, foot into the lower leg, foot into the upper leg. So wherever you are, notice if you can stabilize the hips, stabilize the gaze and the breath. Hands to the heart, reaching up into the sky. Breathe wherever you are. Be that tree. Be that sturdy, beautiful tree, right? Our trees are especially beautiful in the summer. And ready to come out. You slowly let the branches come down. You draw that knee forward. And we're going to step that foot back. There you are. So preparing for warrior one here. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Turn the hyoid bone up so that you're not jutting forward through the chin or rounding down too much with the chin. Start to lift and lower that back foot. Nice strength there. And then see if you can keep that back heel lifted. You don't have to. If it's down, then turn the foot slightly out. So we're balancing here, building strength. Reach your arms forward. They might, hands come together to the heart. You might reach hands up above you. Palms might stay together. Draw hyoid bone up and back. And then from the lift of the whole torso lengthening, you might find a subtle back bend, but stay strong here. Relaxing what doesn't need to be gripped, the mind, the jaw. Exhale, you're going to bring that hand down, both hands to that front thigh. Slowly step that foot up and down, back into your marching. Beautiful. And we'll go right into the other side, so that left knee is going to lift. Notice the sense of balance as you slowly draw that foot back, landing on the toes. Align the torso, hands to the hips, steady first. Find what you need to adjust to be steady. Steady gaze, soft belly, soft heart. Start to just float that heel up and back if your foot allows. And breathe and notice. So when you feel stable with that heel lifted, stay there. If you don't feel stable, then lower the heel, turn that foot out. Bend into that front knee so it's just in line with the ankle. Hands breathe up to the heart space. Align the hyoid bone, the pelvis, the hips towards each other. You might stay there with your hands. They might reach up toward the sky. Upper arms may be in line with the ears. And then it's a lengthening. The pubic bone reaches down. The heart reaches slightly up. Nice and steady, steady gaze. Feel your breath. Exhale, hands to the heart. Stepping forward. And did I skip tree pose on that side? I did. So let's add the tree pose now. So we'll come knee up, turn the foot out, and decide where your tree wants to be. Yeah, beautiful. So even in recordings, we're totally human. I love it. Arms up toward the sky. Steady through your gaze, through your balance. Notice. Exhale, draw that knee forward, step it down right into marching in place. And that's plenty. You could add on, you could pause the video, you could do more, but it's a beginning, so you want to be able to have a practice to do every day that's just going to start you up. Let's inhale, arms up toward the sky, press into your feet. Draw hyoid bone up and back to just lengthen the torso. Heart stays soft. Hip points towards each other as you bend the knees, coming in toward a forward fold. Give the head a little nod, a little shake. Bend the knees, find yourself back in a seated position. Lengthen the legs out. Bring the hands behind you, just like we did before. Press into your hands, lift and lengthen the torso. Find a gentle back bend. So it's just a reminder to find stillness in your day, to find an open heart, to find grace in your day. Exhale to come back upright with the torso. We'll take that same movement with the legs wide. So legs comfortably wide, not overdoing the legs wide. We'll do that same movement. So press into hands, lift the heart, lean back. So it'd be easy for the whole torso to kind of take over, but there's a sense of stretch through the back of the legs. The heels are plugged in. You're breathing. Relax here again, the jaw. You might draw the gaze from side to side. So you're lengthening front body, not collapsing into your wrist. You're lifting up out of the waist. Exhale, draw the feet together, bend the knees, plant the feet. Draw into your hands into the shins, lift the heart. So it's a way to do a back bend practice without getting extreme, right? We want to be able to open up that front body to give us ourselves resilience to face these times. And then we want to be able to drop in, surround the back forehead toward the knees. Take about 5 breaths here to get heavier through the floor, right? So think of a yogi supporting you from 5 feet underneath. You want to drop into their hands. Allow the belly to really soften. You want to breathe into a full belly. In and out through the nose. Breathing into the belly, the low ribs, the outer ribs, the upper rib cage, the collarbones. Long, sweet exhale as you draw in. Feel that sense of drawing in. slowly start to roll up the spine. Bring left foot into right thigh as you extend that leg out. And you want to have the feet at an angle so your torso is still at center. I'm going to switch my legs to mirror you. Set the sitting bones back. Align the pelvis. Take a breath in. And you're going to find a forward fold that's just enough. So you're hinging from the hip crease, not from the rib cage, right? So at the hips with a straight torso, you start to just move 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. You say, oh, that's good enough. I'm going to plant my hands on the floor. You draw the pubic bone towards the tailbone, the hyoid bone back, the center of the body aligns itself. And as you breathe, you might bring some props to bring forearms. You might stay where you are. Notice the range of motion that feels exactly right for you this morning. Feel the fullness of your breath. From the collarbones lifting, pubic bone reaching back, you find yourself rising with a tall spine. Take a breath in. You're going to rotate the rib cage toward that extended leg. And give that leg just a little something, something, a little thump, thump. You want to soften that quad muscle because a soft quad muscle is going to allow you to come forward. So when you feel that release, you might flop the whole leg. Start to turn the toes up toward the sky. So there's some engagement. Mostly you want the engagement through the back of the hips, the glutes. You start to lift the sternum. Hyoid bone reaches up and back. And then from the hinge at the hips, you play. You start to find 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Hands to the earth, maybe blocks. And as you settle here, you start to notice how the heart might come closer to your toes without overstretching. How the jaw might slacken to make the movement, the pose joyful and easeful. Where the mind needs to drop away so you can be enlightened in your pose, or not over-efforting, not under-efforting. Use an inhaling breath into the lower rib cage, so feel that sense of ballooning, rising up nice and tall. Lean back on your hands, so switch the legs out. So we start with one knee bent, foot into the thigh, other leg extended out at an angle, so your torso is right still centered between the thighs. Lift, open, broaden, breathe. Find the hinge at the hips with your mind's eye. And then start to just reach the heart forward. The hands are going to support you the whole time. Maybe use a block. Maybe there's something you can grab, a stool, a low stool. And then it's a relaxing in. You might slide your hands forward. You might come to forearms. Again, all just options. Our availability is there or not. Just like the times we're in, there are things we can do, there are things we really shouldn't do, right? So breathe into the experience that's available right now without attachment to what you might be missing, right? This is the full experience for you today. On a breath in from the collarbones turning up and broadening, you lift up with a long spine. Pause and feel. Find your next exhale, the ribs rotating toward that leg. Give that leg again a little something, something. You want to soften that quad. That quad might resist you. So if you say, it's okay, I'm not going to do anything crazy here. And then settle the legs so that the heel's reaching out, the toes are turning up. And breathe in, hyoid bone reaches back. The heart, just gentle here, it's soft. You're lengthened through the torso. The bend happens from the pubic bone reaching back, the hands to support you wherever they need to be. You draw the pubic bone towards the tailbone towards the pubic bone. And get a sense of length out of the waist. So just that right amount of length for you today. Going as deep or as shallow as the fold feels right today. So bring your mind's eye to the shape your body is making. Make peace with it. If there's over-ambitioning, getting too far, their ego can be, oh, well, I could do this. I can, plop my forehead toward my shins. As long as your ego is out of the pose, you can be in the experience. Next breath in, roll the collarbones up. Lifting nice and tall. Lean back on your hands. Bring the soles of the feet together. We'll come into bound angle the way we've been doing our poses. So as the feet together, you might find supports for under your knees. Bring your hands behind you. Elbows in toward the body. Lift the heart. Hyoid bone draws up so that your chin isn't jutting out. You're not rounding through the shoulders. You're lengthened front body, back body, side body. Feel into your fingertips so the wrist crease aren't overexerting here. And to feel the hip points coming towards each other on an exhale. Notice the tone in the abdomen that allows the spine to stay safe, to stay long. You might stay right there. If it's available, you might start to walk your hands in line with your knees. If your spine is still tall, not rounded, again from the hip hinge, you might explore a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. You might just stay where you are or keep allowing the spine to soften forward. Whatever range of motion is, you're supported with the strength of your arms. You're supported by understanding where will gets in the way and where will supports you. And then be in the pose. Breath into the low ribs. Breath into the area around the armpits. Breath around the collarbones. Softening the jaw, the space between the eyes, the space behind the eyes. It's the lifting of the collarbones, pubic bone moving away, long torso rising up. Bring knees together. Plug your heels in, the toes up. Hold on behind your thighs and draw your heels toward your buttocks. See if you might find a lift. And then glide your heels gently away. Draw your heels toward your buttocks, slight lift. Exhale, glide your heels away. So you're coming toward a forward fold. We're not going to go too far. We're just going to draw the heels in to lift the spine. Keep the bend in the knees. Hinge forward 1/4 of an inch. Plug the heels, the toes are up. Just softening the rib cage toward the thighs. Hands might reach for the earth. Staying right there. If a fuller forward fold is safely available for you, you might start to lengthen the legs but keep a soft bend. Keep the heels plugged in and you might glide side to side. Again, ego not in the room, right? Your self-care is in the room. Just to allow that sense of love and radiance to come inward. That's what forward folds do. They're very introverting, right? So you want to take that inward energy and kind of let it grow inside. Collarbones roll up. Pubic bone reaches back. You lengthen the whole torso. Bend the knees, plant the feet. You're slowly going to make your way onto your back. You might need to slide forward. You can plug the heels, turn the toes up, and then reach for an imaginary bar and see if you can bring that bar slowly down with you. It's holding you back just to give you the support you need to land completely on your back. When you land, take a mini Shavasana. Extend the legs out, extend the arms out. Give the head a little movement side to side. Slowly draw the right knee in toward your chest, hug it in. Circle the knee. So you're going to start to grow the circle. Slowly let go of the knee, open arms out to a T, and draw the circle so you start to come to a gentle twist. So the hip is lifting as the knee goes toward the opposite side. And then find the twist that's right for you. The foot could come to the thigh or the knee. Hand could come under the knee for support. Reach both shoulders toward the earth, adjusting the spine if you need to. Breathe into just enough of a twist to soothe your body and mind today. Notice the hyoid bone drawing up and back. Heart soft, hip points towards each other. Inhale back to center, lengthen out right leg, adjust the hip spine as you draw the left knee in. Holding on to that knee, start to circle. And then grow that circle so you start to find that bit of a twist as the arms open up to a T. As you're ready, find a place for that foot on your lower leg, extended leg. And just bringing the hips up so they start towards stacking. They move towards stacking. That knee that's going across the body does not have to touch. That can be really too much for the body. So you might land something under that knee. You might just hold it with your hand. Hyoid bone again, in and up. Heart soft, hip points towards each other. Feeling the entirety of your breath. Back to center. You're going to land the left foot, land the right foot, the knees are bent. And you draw the right knee in, right ankle to left thigh. Press the thighs away as you rock gently side to side. Settle the hips, take a breath in. You're going to lift that left heel up so you're on your toes. This might be as far as you want to go today. If it's available, you might start to reach behind the left thigh, interlacing your fingers. Awareness again to all those key points. Hyoid bone up, front and back of the neck long. You might tip the pelvis here to lift the low back off the floor. That's going to add a little bit more stretch on the outer hips. Notice if the shoulders are rounding up. That's a tip to maybe just keep the toes down on that foot. And slowly, let's switch it out. One leg down, opposite knee in, ankle to thigh. Rocking again, side to side, juicy massage with the sacrum. Find center as you walk the heel up. You're landing on your toes. Flex through that top foot to start to draw the thighs in and notice where it's safe for you to hold today. Soften the hinge of the jaw, space behind the eyes, space between the ears. And breathe a sense of awareness of the heaviness of the bones. Let the sacrum drop, maybe tilting slightly through the pelvis to lift the low back off the floor if there's no pain. And slowly allow that foot to land. Uncross the ankle, lower the opposite foot. settle the hips. Pause for a breath here. We'll move into a bridge pose. So heels walking toward the buttocks, toes pointing forward, arms by your side. Turn the pinkies down, the thumbs up. Roll the shoulders up and back as the collarbones roll up and back. Right? So there's a broadening across the chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, feel the entirety of your feet. So start to press into your feet. Draw the tailbone forward to lift the hips. And then use the strength of your arms. You can squeeze and release the glutes. And then with the glutes squeeze, you might find more lift. And from that lift, start to release the bigger glute muscles. There are inner muscles that are going to hold you up here. Relax the heart space. So rather than firming up the sternum toward the chin, as we tend to do, what if you find ease in that space? Softness through the eyes and the jaw, across the shoulders. Can you find length in the torso? Reach the pubic bone away from the nail bone, the tailbone toward the pubic bone. Feel a sense of opening across the sides of the waist. To lower, the arms stay activated. You reach the tailbone forward. You might lift the heels and start to lengthen the spine down. Draw the knees together, hands toward the belly. The toes will turn in. Close your eyes. Absorb bridge posture. Absorb nurturing, opening the body, opening the heart, the abdominal region, the pelvis. Fortifying yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. From here, any poses you'd like to do, feel free. Take a moment for any stretches, maybe a happy baby, maybe another twist or two. Let yourself feel into the wisdom of what your body needs before finding Shavasana. Awareness of the muscles, the bones, the energy in the body. And Shavasana is waiting for you. So take your time to settle right leg and right arm and left arm. Settle gently the center of the back of the head to the earth. And draw the hyoid bone up and back. Feel the length that happens at the back of the neck, the ease through the jaw and the heart. There remains a gentle toning through the abs as the pelvis reaches down, a sense of length through the back body. Reach the heels out, feel awareness through soles of your feet. Reach the hands out, feel awareness through the palms of the hands. Take a full breath in. Exhale now, soften everything. Might you find more ease through the crown of the head, corners of lips and eyes, inner and outer ears, space between nose and back of head, space between crown of head and base of the skull. Ease through all the passageways in the neck. Feel the neck broadening, shoulders becoming heavier. Whole back body at ease, whole front body at ease. Arms, legs, feet, letting go of any further resistance. Stay here as long as you like. Let yourself be here. Namaste. Thank you.